Hello, I'm Zaccura and welcome back to my channel. I have been gone from YouTube for a while, but if you are following me on social media, like you should, then you probably know why. I have been super busy getting everything together for my 2020 monthly character calendar. And if you're watching this on the day that this video is uploaded, then today is the day when it is finally available for purchase. The link will be in the description box if you'd like to give it a look and maybe consider getting one for yourself or someone you know. And it's also the day of the official launch of my online store. Finally. More on all that later, but for now, since getting this calendar together was a whole big process in itself, and because this calendar has a couple really special features that I've been keeping secret this whole time, I figured I'd show you guys the ins and outs of this calendar and how yours will be made if you do decide to get one, because each and every calendar is made by hand, by me and Toto. That's right. Toto helps. Give him a nice comment in the comments. Say, praise my boy, my lamp. He's a good boy. He lights up my desk and allows me to work at night. So without further ado, let's get into it. So each month features a different character from my monthly character series I did last year. The design also includes the zodiac symbols, birthstone, flowers, colors, and virtue for that month. And in the bottom corner background area is a painting that calls back to that character's story. For example, March's story was set at a lake, so there's a little painting of a lake in the bottom corner. Earlier this month, I posted some polls on my Instagram stories where I asked you guys for your opinions on a few different design options. Things like boxes versus no boxes around the numbers, and background or no backgrounds in the corners. I just really wanted to get you guys involved because I really wanted to make this calendar as appealing as possible to you guys. And for the most part, you guys are pretty unanimous on the decisions. The only one that was pretty split was the question of whether or not the calendar should have grid lines around the numbers. Many people mentioned that the grid lines made the calendar more functional and less disorienting to look at when you take a quick glance. But the other point was that without the grid lines, it was more artistic, and it just made the art pop a lot more. So in the end, I settled for an in-between and put the grid lines, but just made them prettier. Now, the reason why I made this calendar the way it is, where the calendar aspect looks kind of small and it's mostly artistic, is because there is kind of one big aspect of this calendar that I did not mention to people, and the reason is simply because before I was able to have a finished calendar, like physical item to show people, it would have been a little hard to explain how it works, because this is a concept that I don't think I've ever seen before in a calendar. I'm sure I'm probably not the first one to have this kind of thing in a calendar, but I've just never seen it. But basically, this calendar has a secret that makes it way more functional than it looks at first glance. And that is, drumroll, it's double-sided. Pretty simple. So basically, when you hang this calendar on your wall, all you see is that month's artistic calendar, you know, the part that has that month's character and all the color, and it just has a smallish half-page calendar with large numbers on it. But then, if you just simply lift up that page, you'll see that on the back side, there is a full-page, completely blank calendar of that same month, with roomy boxes and smaller numbers where you can write all of your notes and mark special dates and just do all of your other calendar function needs. So the front is really more just for reminding you of what day it is, and whenever you need to actually check your notes, aka the business side of a calendar, you can just take a peek. It leaves the front of the calendar nice and clean and pretty, and not to mention, if you don't live alone, or if you just want to keep this calendar in a place where people may be like walking by a lot, like maybe in an office or something, and maybe you don't want everyone to know that you're going on a date next Tuesday, you won't have to worry about like your coworkers or your little siblings walking in and seeing all of your notes, because it will be on the back side, and it will be our little secret. Hue hue. Now, before we get into the printing and binding of this calendar, there is still one more little big cool secret about this calendar, and that is this calendar comes with unlockable short stories. If you followed me last year when I did my monthly character project, then you know that along with designing and illustrating a new character every month, I also wrote stories for each and every one of the characters. And I shared them all in a monthly YouTube series called Monthly Character Series. Well, writing a new story every single month that year meant I really didn't have any time to refine the stories. As you guys know, I was like barely making the deadline every month. And so those videos pretty much contain like the first draft versions of those stories. But now, 1 year later, the stories have all been revamped for the coming soon book. They have gone through an extensive editing process. Some of the stories even have new twists and turns that were completely not there in the draft versions that are on YouTube right now. And so because this calendar really goes hand in hand with the book, I decided to give it one more little treat, and that is every month comes with a QR code. And if you scan the QR code, it'll take you to the brand new video where you can hear the now finalized story for that month, as well as see some behind the scenes footage of the making of the coming soon book. And each video will become unlockable on the first of the months in 2020, obviously. So like if you scan February's QR code in January 2020, it will bring you to a page that says to please wait until February. But then on February 1st, it will become available and you'll be able to see the video. However, you won't have to wait until next year to get a little something something, because I'm going to be making January's story, the very first video, available as soon as possible, probably within the next few days. So once your calendar arrives, you'll immediately be able to unlock that story. And then for the whole year of 2020, you'll have something to look forward to every month. Each of the videos are exclusive, meaning they will not be available to the public. They'll only be unlockable by people who have access to the QR codes on the calendar. So if you want in, you know what you have to do. I decided to make these calendars at home because of costs and because it would be kind of complicated to tell like an online printing service like how each page needs to be printed and bound, because it's double-sided in a very specific way. This calendar is complicated. There's a lot of aspects and things that can go wrong. And you know what they say, if you want something done right, do it yourself. Although I did make my very, very fair share of mistakes. Like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, but I'm glad that they did, because now I know exactly what to do. Anyway, the dimensions of this calendar are 8.5 by 11 inches, and it is horizontal. Each calendar consists of 13 double-sided pages, 12 months plus a cover, and it also has a backboard. All of the pages are printed on heavyweight premium photo paper. The fronts are glossy, but the backs are unfinished so that it's easier to write on even with a pencil. I know that in a lot of the footage in this video, it looks like both sides of the calendar are like not glossy, but that's just because the very first test calendar I made was on matte photo paper, and I didn't have a lot of time to put this video together, so a lot of the footage is just of that first calendar. Sorry if it's confusing, but don't worry. I am very particular about quality, and the printing on the glossy paper is just as fantastic. The only difference is that it is shiny. And in case you're wondering why I did not stick with the matte paper, it's simply because in order to get the same quality of print on matte paper versus glossy paper, it sucks up like 3 times more ink. And printer ink is like made out of gold or so, like I don't even know what they be filling it with these days, but at this point I think they must just be taking a bunch of Copic markers and cracking them open and just filling the cartridges with that, because stuff's really expensive. And I do not want to charge you guys a ridiculous price. And after testing, the glossy paper delivers just as high quality print without sucking my printer dry, so it works out much better. The backboard contains the calendar's holiday info as well as zodiac signs. Now, when it comes to the binding, let me introduce you to Mr. Cinch, or Mrs. Cinch, or Miss... I haven't really decided yet. Anywho, all of the pages are manually punched and wire bound. I use my cinch press to punch the holes as well as cinch the wire coils. And I use a little like thumb notch punch hole thingy to make the little notch at the top so that the hanger can pass through. It took some practice to get this whole punching, cinching process down. I made like so many mistakes at first, but I finally got it and I am confident now with my cinching abilities, which means that now I can make each calendar to order, which really helps out for a new shop owner like me because I would honestly have no idea how many to order if I was getting it printed and shipped to me. Doing it all by hand does take a lot more time and work, but it's really worth it for me. Plus, I like the idea of being able to send you guys something that I handmade myself. It's just more personal and cool. And plus, each one is quality inspected by yours truly and Toto. So I know that I'm sending you guys a good product. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, with this calendar dropping, it also marks the official opening of my online shop. I have been working on getting my shop open for so long, but something just kept on, like, there was always something that got in the way. I remember saying I wanted to open it after Mermaid this year, but there was just so much to learn and so many different ways to go about it, and there were just so many roadblocks. But I never stopped working at it, and now it's finally up, and I'm super excited about it. So if you have a moment, I'd really appreciate if you guys could give it a look. At the moment, there is literally only one item available, this calendar, but now that the store is up and running, I'll slowly be adding more items in the near future. I actually have thoughts of designing yet another 2020 calendar that would feature some of my mermaid illustrations. It would not have the QR codes, but it would be just like this calendar in all other respects, just with different art on the front. If that sounds like something you'd like, please do let me know, as well as if you have any other suggestions of what kind of products you'd like to see from me. I'd love to hear from you guys. I managed to get the shop integrated into my already existing website so that it's like nice and seamless and I don't have to send you guys to like a lot of different places. The link will of course be in the description box, so you can click that and it'll head you right over to the shop, or if you're not for links for some reason, you can head over to Zaccura.com and click on the shop tab. If you do decide to get a calendar either for yourself or someone you know, thank you so much in advance. Any sale goes directly into helping me to keep producing new projects and new videos and content that you guys would like to see. So really any support is huge. Even just like sharing the fact that my shop exists with people that you know, because I am a pretty small artist, and thus my SEO, aka my like search result ranking on like Google and Firefox and all those other search engines is not very hot. So any kind of word spreading is a huge help. Do let me know what you think about this calendar in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to be back with more regular videos soon, but at the same time, I still have a lot of work to do for the monthly character book, which by the way, I need you guys' help on this. I'm thinking about naming the book either Year, a collection of short stories, or 12 months, a collection of short stories. They're both kind of literal, but at this point, like, I have no idea what else to name it. So which name do you like better between these two? I need help with this. And I mean, if you have a suggestion for a completely different name, let me know too, because at this point, I need help. Also, Inktober is pretty much like here already. And I mean, I love Inktober, so I gotta do something, right? I don't know what though. So I guess I had better quit blabbing now and get back to work, because I have a lot of work to do. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, if you'd like to follow me on social media, all the links to that are in the description box. And until next time, stay awesome, stay inspired, always. See ya!